If you've been wanting to learn how to use builder gel or need some help and you've been trying it but you're not sure what to do, this one's going to be for you. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. We are going hard at the builder gel today, doing both the right and the left hand. Now you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing, cutting off the fingertips of disposable gloves. I was all out of my normal gloves that I wear in the videos, so I thought, you know what? I am not going to get all this filing dust all over my hands. I'm just going to cut off the tips of some of the disposable gloves that I have. And you know what? That works great. So first thing we have to do is I've got to file down some of the bulk of my old builder gel because I was changing colors. So I wanted to use these two new colors from OG Dip Powder. They're both HEMA-free and absolutely gorgeous. They're called Misty Rose and Soft Satin. Let's get the rest of our prep done and get this old builder gel off. When I'm changing colors like this, I like to file my builder gel down as thin as possible. And I always have either builder gel or rubber base down on my natural nails because I like to keep them protected. And to be honest, I use peel base under my dip manis, and half the time I like wildly pop off the dip manis and have like pieces of dip everywhere. So I need to keep builder gel down or rubber base down all the time because majority of the time that's what I actually have on my nails. Once I file the bulk down, then I can go in and start to do the prep. And the first thing I like to do is use a sanding band, and I go around my nails. I make sure that I rough up the top of the surface in case there were any like weird bumps from when I was e-filing the builder gel off. And I also use the sanding bands to prep the new growth and to file down any of the lifting. So I'm very careful about what bits I use on my natural nails. Really, this is the only bit that I use on my natural nails, the sanding bands, because it's like using a buffing block. I like to try to get the higher grit sanding bands. This is just an extra precaution for me that I'm not over filing my natural nails. And I've been doing builder gel now for over 4.5 years, probably closer to 5, but my memory is so bad I can't even remember anymore. Once I finish going around each nail, the new growth, and filing down any lifting with the sanding band, then I go in with my favorite cuticle bit from McCart. I go around, and after I push my cuticles back, I just like to use this bit to make sure that none of the skin is stuck on my nail plate. So you don't want to dig hard back into your cuticle because that could actually cut skin. All you want to do is get any of the skin that's stuck on your nail plate. You want to remove that. Now that the e-file prep is done, I like to go in with a stiff nail brush and isopropyl alcohol and really scrub my nails. This is just to make sure that all the filing dust and all that junk is off before I go in with my dehydrator and my primer. And I do these one hand at a time. So if you want your primer to be sticky, and some companies call it primer, some call it bond, but whatever you're using before your gel, it should always leave a sticky residue. So if it doesn't leave a sticky residue, most likely you're just using a dehydrator and not a bond or primer that is meant for it's like an extra step that helps with the adhesion of gels. So I go in thumb to pinky with my dehydrator, and then I do 2 layers of the primer and I scrub it in. So I go thumb to pinky, scrubbing in the primer, and scrubbing it in, some people actually call that etching as well. It's just rubbing the brush on your nail to really make sure that you're getting the primer into all the little nooks and crannies, because that sticky residue that's left behind is what helps your gels adhere to your natural nails. Now, a lot of people do need a layer of gel base down before they apply builder gel for better adhesion, but there are some of us who that just does not work. For some of us, using base gel down before builder gel actually causes our gel to lift. So our builder gel to lift. So I go after primer, I go right in with my builder gel. And what you want to do first is you want to apply your slip layer. So a slip layer is a really thin layer of the builder gel that is applied over your entire nail that you don't cure. And you want to keep that nice and thin so that then you go in with a bead of builder gel, which is really just like a little circular dollop type thing. and that you then are going to float down your nail. And that slip layer is used as a guide. So the slip layer allows you to slip the builder gel down your nail, and it makes for such an easier application. When I first started doing builder gel, I did not do the slip layer. I didn't know about it. All the videos that I watched, not a single person did it. And then all of a sudden I saw one of the nail tech educators do it, and it was like a light bulb. So for the past few years, I've been doing it with a slip layer, and it just makes life so much easier. So when you apply that bead of builder gel, you apply it not at the very back of your nails, but you want to apply it close to the cuticles. And then you very gently push the builder gel back towards your cuticles and then float it down your nail. Now, I like to do the swooping from side to side of the builder gel, and you do that most of the way down your nail. So then when you get towards the tip, you are kind of just pulling a little bit down, because we're always working on building our apex. So when you're doing builder gel, you're not just trying to like slap it on and go. If your nails are longer than pretty much your fingertips, you want to at least do some kind of focus on an apex. So what is an apex? An apex is the highest point of your nail enhancement that gives it the strength. And what does that actually mean? So let's say you would smash your hand against something. If your apex is built correctly, there's a much better chance that your builder gel or acrylic or dip powder or whatever you're using is not going to break off. You have a higher chance of it staying intact if your apex is built properly. How do you figure out where the heck to put it? When you don't have anything down on your nails, what you want to do is you want to press on the edge of your nail, and wherever a little white spot shows up on your nail, that's how you know where your apex should be. So if your nails are longer, your apex spot is going to need to be a little higher because it's a balance of the length of your nails. Now, it's not going to be anything like crazy, but if you don't have an apex built, there is a really good chance that your nails are going to break. And especially if you're like me and you're really rough on your nails, building an apex is really important. So we focus on building that by floating it down and then keeping the majority of the builder gel in that apex spot, and then flipping your nail over so that the apex, that the builder gel can naturally self-level into that apex area. Some people, when they flip their nail over, like to do a couple like taps against their finger. That helps with the apex, and self-leveling with certain brands. Now, OG self-levels beautifully, so sometimes I tap it if I remember, but leaving your nail flipped over and slightly tilted upwards for about 10 seconds, and then you flip it back over, check out where your apex is, see if it looks good, see if everything's self-leveled, and then you can go in with a detail brush. So a detail nail art brush helps you get the builder gel into the exact right spot you want. And I've been doing this now for a couple years, this method with the thin nail art brush. That helps tremendously because you can get the builder gel really close to your sidewalls without flooding it. And not only that, let's say too much of the builder gel gets at the tip of your nail. Well, then you just use that really thin nail art brush, and you pull some of the builder gel back towards the apex, flip your nail back over, and then you always want to flash cure each nail for at least 5 seconds before you move to the next one. So if you don't flash cure your builder gel, it's going to move. And that just wasted all that time you spent trying to get your apex into the right spot, making sure that you don't have any builder gel in your cuticles. All those things are super important. All those things will be affected if you don't flash cure your builder gel in between each nail. And then once you're done with your 5 nails on that hand, then you do a full cure. So I do my thumb separately, and then I do my pointer through pinky together. Doing your thumb separately is just going to ensure that you have fully cured your builder gel, because we tend to hold our thumb at like a weird wonky angle. Now I'm starting in with my right hand, and since I'm right-handed, this is what's been a lot harder for me to do my builder gel on my right hand, because my left hand is my non-dominant hand. And I've gotten good at doing dip powder on on my right hand, but doing builder gel has definitely taken me years of practice. So the first thing you want to do is the same as you did with your left hand. So you'll apply your dehydrator on all 5 nails. Then you'll go in with your primer, scrubbing it in to each nail. You do thumb to pinky of primer, and then you go back to your thumb and do thumb to pinky of primer again. That second layer of primer really helps with adhesion. A lot of people, when they're first starting, have problems with builder gel for a couple reasons. One, they don't do enough nail prep. So that was what we did at the beginning, making sure all of our cuticles were off our nail plate. 2, they're not actually dehydrating their nails or using a primer that is that sticky residue that's left behind. 3, the products that they're using are low quality. So if you don't use good quality products, you don't get good quality results, all right? I lost track after 30 different builder gels that I've tried. So using high quality products will make a huge difference on your retention, on the ease of application. Another thing that I've noticed is huge for people that have trouble with their builder gel is they're not using a full curing lamp. So using a flash cure lamp, that's not going to cut it. Using a lamp that doesn't fully cure your nails is going to lead to lifting. And not only will it lead to lifting, leaving uncured gel in your nails leads to gel algae. So we don't want to do that, all right? We want to wear our builder gel as long as possible. We want to be able to use gels as long as possible. Now, I do the same process on my right hand as I do on my left. I apply the slip layer, which is that thin layer of uncured builder gel, down my entire nail. And I really focus on getting it into the whole nail. Some people do like to kind of scrub that slip layer into their nail. It helps them with their application. I personally have done that a few times. It helps, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So typically I just focus on keeping that slip layer as thin as possible. Then I do my builder gel, bead of builder gel back towards the back of my cuticle. I gently push it back and float it down. And flipping my nail over is another crucial step. Like I did on my left hand, you flip it over for at least 10 seconds. You let that apex build naturally, and you go in with your thin nail art brush to really get the detail correct. So you're getting it as close to your cuticles as you possibly can. You're making sure that your apex is in the right place. And especially when you're using your non-dominant hand to apply the builder gel on your dominant hand, that thin nail art brush is going to be your bestie, all right? The thin nail art brush is how I'm able to get such a nice application and not have to do as much filing and shaping once my builder gel is fully cured, because I use that detail brush to really go in and fine tune where my builder gel is, so that all I need to do is like a light buff. And you can see me really working the fine nail art brush around. I'm making sure I'm getting close to my cuticles. I'm pulling any of the builder gel from the tip of my nail that would kind of pool there. I'm pulling it back towards the apex area. I keep flipping it over. So let's say you work on your nail for a little bit and then you're like, okay, I think it's where it needs to be. Well, flip it back over for like 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure it's self-leveled again. It's still pulling towards that apex, and then do your 5-second flash cure. Now my pinky, when I was filing it at the start, I accidentally filed the one side off. So I grabbed one of my paper forms and did a really quick, like teeny tiny extension because I wanted my nails to all be the same length. Typically I wouldn't do this, to be honest. I usually just let it go, but I had filed it so weird. I was like, all right, it'll take me, an extra minute just to get this extension on, because I literally just needed to get the one corner of it fixed up. So I just threw on that paper form, pulled the builder gel down a little bit at the tip of my nail where I had filed off the left side of the nail too much, and then just did the extension, threw it into the nail lamp so for the flash cure, so then I could do my full cure. Once I'm done with all of my nails, I do the full cure, still doing my thumb separately, then I do my pointer through pinky together. Then I wipe really, really well with isopropyl alcohol. So the reason that I do that is because builder gel leaves a sticky dispersion layer behind even when it's fully cured. So you don't want to go right in with any kind of file or buffing block, because you're going to get that sticky dispersion layer, which is gel, essentially all over the place. Wiping it off really well with isopropyl alcohol allows that dispersion layer to be removed, and then you can go and you can file it nice and smooth. You can use your buffing block. I like to use these big flexible files because I have gigantic hands. So if I try to use little buffing blocks, I just end up having to do so much more work because my hands are so big, it's hard for me to hold the little buffing blocks. Now I make sure when I'm buffing that I buff in a C curve motion. So I don't just buff flat on my nail. I make sure that I buff with the curve of my nail to keep that apex going and to keep my nails sloping down towards my sidewalls. So I want to keep that builder gel sloped down towards the sidewalls so it doesn't leave some weird flat ridge going on my nails. You want to keep that apex and the curve as intact as you possibly can. And that's really what I'm doing with the buffing. And then when I go in with my hand file to just, fine tune my shaping, all that is to really work on that base layer of my nails so that when I go and I dip over it, or I do gel, or I do nail polish, whatever I'm doing over top of it, I don't have to worry about my apex at all. My shape is nice. So especially when I'm dipping, I just do a little bit of filing and buffing to make sure it's nice and smooth over top. And then that's it. To me, this part is super important, doing all the buffing and shaping, just because I can get all the fine tuning out now. Now, if you are amazing at applying your builder gel, you don't have to do any of this. You can go straight in after your builder gel is fully cured, and you can go straight in with gel top coat if you're just going to wear your builder gel. Because if you're somebody who can get this perfect application without doing the filing and buffing, more power to you. That is awesome. I am somebody who just cannot. And since I like to use peel base on top of my builder gel, I always make sure that my builder gel is buffed super, super smooth. Now, if you would get to this point and your builder gel is not buffing smooth and it's like kind of coming off in pieces, that's how you know your builder gel did not fully cure. Like, warning, warning, warning. If that ever happens to you where your builder gel starts coming off in chunks when you're filing or buffing, make sure you immediately remove everything, because leaving uncured gel on your nails is going to lead to a gel allergy, which we definitely do not want. Now that you know how to do basic builder gel application and you're ready for extensions, make sure you click on this next video and I will teach you how. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.